Today, we look into one of the most consumed beverages all around the world. One that gives you energy to power through the day. Coffee. With lore and legend rich as a double caramel latte, coffee has come a long way since it was first discovered in Ethiopia. From the complex process of coffee roasting to the mastery of latte art, our beloved brew is definitely more than meets the tongue. But does coffee actually aid us in our day-to-day activities? Is caffeine the key to prolonging energy? And what actually makes the perfect brew? Let's investigate. Coffee. Oh, I love the smell, I love the taste, I love the energy that it gives me. But there's been a lot of debate recently about caffeine and what it does to us. So I'm wondering, what's really brewing in my cup of joe?
Coffee has over 1,000 different compounds. Some of them that are aromatic compounds, some of them that are flavorsome, but of course the most widely perceived is the presence of caffeine.
Caffeine is actually a natural pesticide the coffee plant produces to protect itself from disease.
Recent studies have shown that coffee has a protective effect over coronary heart disease, some cancers, Alzheimer's disease, and Parkinson's disease. However, I do not recommend that you take too much coffee as well because it does contain caffeine, which can lead to heart palpitations, insomnia, and even sometimes diarrhea.
Recently it has been shown that drinking about 6 to 5 cups per day reduces the risk of getting type 2 diabetes. So there are always balances and swings when you talk about coffee and caffeine consumption.
So I'm the type of girl that really needs to start her day with a strong cup of coffee, but there are a lot of varieties out there. And that's why my friends here from Singapore Polytechnic are going to help me with a little experiment. We're going to extract 4 different varieties of coffee from Ethiopia, Guatemala, Sumatra, and Brazil, and we'll find out which one really has the most kick. The 4 coffee samples are brewed and then drained. A solvent is used to obtain an extract. This is then analyzed to get a weigh-in of the caffeine levels.
These are the results.
Wow, so it looks like the coffee from Sumatra has the most caffeine with 203 ppm, which is
Parts per million.
parts per million, which just goes to show we make some pretty strong coffee in Asia. Thank you, ladies. Yay for Sumatra. With that in mind, I want to know, what is it that makes the Sumatran coffee so high in caffeine?
It depends on the surrounding itself, on the cleanliness of the way they actually grow the coffee. If the place is dirty, they're creating more caffeine in order to fight off diseases. So more caffeines will be in the bean itself.
Aha! But that's not the only thing that affects the caffeine levels in the coffee we drink.
It depends a lot on the brewing methods itself. The longer you actually sip your coffee beans or powder in the water, caffeine level goes up.
This means that contrary to popular belief, espresso is not the coffee with the biggest caffeine kick.
Most people drink espresso-based beverages with steamed milk with a little bit of foam. The cappuccino, the latte, the macchiato are all like that. When we design the drink, it's designed to be drunk at a certain temperature where the milk flavors don't overpower the flavors of the espresso. And when they foam the beverage, that creamy foam, it blends very well. It only holds its microfine texture, that creamy texture, only when it's warm. And when it starts to cool down, it breaks up. So you lose that facet of the drink experience. So for cappuccinos and lattes, don't let it cool down too much. Otherwise, the milk will start to overpower the espresso.
Today, we're giving caffeine a run for its money. I have some young athletic gentlemen with me from the SMU football team, and we're going to put their mental and physical abilities to the test before and after they've had their share of caffeine. Keith, come over here, boy.
Yo.
Are you ready for the challenge, my friend?
Sure, we'll be able to handle anything.
All right. Boys, It's game on! Yeah! For the first challenge, there are 2 teams. Here we go in 3, 2, 1, go! Go! Each participant will do a 50-meter sprint and kick the ball from the halfway mark. The time taken to sprint and whether they hit the target will be recorded. Gentlemen, come on! Refreshment time. This is for you guys.
All right, awesome.
After the intense challenge, one team will be given a non-caffeinated beverage, while the other will be given coffee. Now I wonder, does the caffeine this team is ingesting have any positive impact on their speed and accuracy? So we're gonna give the boys a 30-minute break, and after that we're going to repeat the race again.
Caffeine has a variety of effects in the body. It alters blood pressure, it increases your heart rate, it increases your metabolic rate, and also significantly helps you concentrate.
Now we move on to the second challenge, to find out if caffeine affects mental performance. This time round, I want to see how long these guys can juggle the ball for. And then, if I'm feeling nice, I'll give them a refreshment too. It's Fee versus Joel. Let the showdown begin. Seems these two are having a pretty tough fight. Joel is not letting up and neither is Fee. Who will emerge champion? Fee is the epitome of concentration. Looks like he's having a ball of a time. All right, guys, how about a cold one? Yeah. Nice. Unknown to the guys, I've given Joel a coffee refreshment, while Fee's got a decaf beverage. All right, guys, take a 30-minute breather, and I'll see you right back here, okay? All right. All right, ciao! After the break, we get to the heart of coffee roasting, and I play guinea pig in an intriguing taste test, where instant, gourmet, and kopitiam coffee go head-to-head to see who will emerge the brew of choice.
That's foul.
Studies have shown that drinking plain coffee may reduce your risk of developing certain diseases like cancer and Parkinson's. Now, another interesting finding is that drinking coffee might increase your lifespan. So, another cup coming up. There's a gem buried inside your coffee, and that's chlorogenic acid. It's a type of phytochemical that fights off cancer cells and fat production. Here's a concern that many coffee lovers share. Does roasting destroy the bean's beneficial nutrients? I'm going to consult a coffee maestro, Keith from Oriole Coffee Roasters. Tell me about this passion of yours, coffee. The journey begins here, doesn't it?
Journey begins inside here, inside this coffee cherry here. This one comes from Ethiopia, and there are a lot of flavors in the coffee bean. And so they split it, and it goes through a long process. But all that is done to preserve the flavor in the coffee bean.
What is it that you look for before you say, okay, this is ready for roasting?
We smell, and we look at the quality, and we look at the size and uniformity. Everyone has been plucked by a farmer's hands, so we try not to destroy the beans.
So it really is hard work for them on their part,
It's back-breaking work, and all we do is try and bring out the best of what they do, and bring out all the flavors that we can. Coffee grows in long stalks, and the little buds of cherries grow over there. And they look like cherries, red cherries. And when you eat them, it's sweet. And it's that sweetness and all those developed ripe sugars that eat into the bean. And when you harvest it fresh, and you process it fresh, you keep it in a temperature-controlled environment like here, all that freshness, that smell you're smelling, goes into the coffee.
Now, for the most crucial process of all, roasting.
So here is the roasting process. This is the heart of our operations. Roasting is 2 parts. One is the removal of moisture, and the other part is getting the flavors roasted properly and evenly. It's a combination of art and technology. And the precise application of temperature or energy at the right time will allow the bean to roast at the same rate inside and outside. We don't want to overcook the outside and have it medium rare inside. That way you get sour or organic flavors in there and bitter flavors outside. We start with coffee that's uniform in shape and size. Once the drum is up to the right temperature, she's going to release it and let all the coffee into a little drum. See this drum rolling?
Oh, it goes through there. During roasting, the coffee beans have to be constantly monitored through sight, sound, and smell.
As you can see, the coffee is now starting to brown, and the roasting process is actually really going on strong right now. There is a point where the coffee starts to exhale a lot of vapors and gases. So it's called first crack. And coffee has to reach first crack before all the flavors start to develop. Everything happens within a 2 to 4 minute period where that roasting develops all the flavors. So it's a very precise moment which we have to mark. Everything happens in a very short span of time. And that's the exciting part about coffee.
Ooh, there it is! The beans are emptied out into the cooler to stop the roasting process. I'm very excited to be part of a coffee sensory test here at Singapore Poly. Basically, I get to try 3 different types of coffee, but I don't know what's what. So yeah, I guess I'm a bit of a guinea pig.
There are 3 types of coffee that panelists will be trying. First is the gourmet coffee, followed by the instant coffee, and lastly, the regular coffee shop coffee.
The coffees are brewed and poured into 3 different cups labeled with a serial number. Our taste buds will then be left to judge in this blind taste test. Hey, what took you so long, man? I'm waiting here. I'm smelling this coffee and I can't taste it. Come on. Taste test number 1. And that's okay. That's foul. That's good. You may go now. Thank you. Okay, so the results are in from the coffee sensory test. Here we go. The most popular was instant coffee. Second in the running is kopitiam coffee. That's actually what I chose. And then the gourmet coffee was the least popular. Can you believe that? I mean, all this time I thought I was a coffee snob. Obviously, I was wrong. Instant coffee is a decent pick-me-up when you want a quick fix. But as much as it's convenient, how does the quality of instant coffee stack up against a fresh brew?
A lot of the coffee used in instant coffee is many grades lower than the coffee used for fresh brewing. When you freeze-dry coffee, that whole process doesn't need good coffee because it cannot deliver a lot of the flavors that we find in fresh coffee.
Coffee can be enjoyed in numerous ways, from steaming hot to icy cold. But what I really want to know is, does temperature affect how our body responds to coffee?
With high-quality coffee, when you let the coffee cool down, you get more complex flavors. You start to taste more, only because your tongue is more sensitive to flavors at a lower temperature. But if the coffee is too cold, your tongue numbs up and you can't taste too much. Your perception of flavors get very muted. So if you drink it closer to room temperature, you actually taste more of what's in there.
The verdict is in. When you want to enjoy the essence of coffee, have it lukewarm or a little less ice to do justice to the bean and its origin. After the break, we're going to spill the beans on our soccer boys, brew up a storm at a specialty coffee cafe, and get down and dirty for a good coffee scrub. Specialty coffee places are sprouting up everywhere, and I'm about to meet with someone whose life revolves around coffee, and I want to ask him, what makes it so special?
I'm paying a visit to Strangers Reunion, a cafe started by the three-time and current Singapore National Barista Champion, Ryan Tan.
Specialty coffee actually describes the segment of the coffee industry where we are really focused on the quality of coffee and everything that happens between the farm, where the coffee is grown, all the way to the roastery and to the cafe. How we taste coffee these days, it's gotten a lot more complex. We look for acidity, mouthfeel, start of the palate, from the middle to the finish. We actually look at it in a very similar way the sommeliers look at wine.
Tell me about the different types of coffee beans out there.
There are basically 4 types of coffee beans. The most common two are the Robusta and Arabica. And the less common types of coffee beans are the Liberica and Excelsa. Between the Robusta and Arabica, the Robusta has twice the amount of caffeine.
In terms of quality, that's something that's very important to someone like you. How do you ensure that?
We try to have traceable coffee. I think one has to understand origin, how the coffee is grown, and how the soil and the weather and the characteristics of each region can affect the taste of each coffee.
I'm wondering, how do you actually keep coffee beans fresh?
I would strongly suggest you keep the coffee in bean form. So when you buy coffee, look out for the roast date, and from there you count 3 to 4 weeks. But the moment you grind it, it only lasts about 5 days before it loses some of its flavor.
Going organic is also something that's very much on vogue. People are talking about it, but it is a gray area. So when it comes to coffee, is that something I should be looking for?
Well, what we've noticed is that the farmers are usually so poor that they cannot afford the organic certification. And on top of that, they can't afford the fertilizer. They use the byproducts of the coffee cherries, which is all the pulp and the skin, to fertilize the next year's crop.
So it's organic and everything but name, really?
Well, the practices that they use are the same as any other organically certified farm, just that they just don't have the money to get themselves certified.
Well, since I'm with a celebrity barista, why not learn the art of coffee craft while I can? A food detective can always do with a hobby.
So when you take out the group handle, knock it and catch it like that, then perch for about 3 to 4 seconds. This is where we knock the spent coffee, like that. Everything comes out. Then we clean it. Yeah.
Okay.
Press this button to grind. This is where we tamp the coffee, like that. We just want to make sure it's flat. So it goes in at about 8 o'clock and locks at about 6.
Okay. Now it's making coffee, that's it?
Yeah, that's it. So this will run for about 30 seconds.
Okay.
And this is the time I usually do the milk. And this is where we texture the milk. Just adding some air bubbles to increase the volume of the milk and give it that foamy, creamy texture.
That is beautiful. That is why you won those competitions.
Thank you. How about you try pouring this cup?
Okay.
Ready? Aim in the middle.
Aim in the middle.
Keep it brown.
Keep it brown.
Don't pour too fast. Go low.
There, look at that. I think I need some practice.
Yeah. Looks pretty good for a first try.
Okay, come on. Time for round number 2. Let's go.
It's all or nothing in the second attempt at the challenge. The boys go leg to leg, and I'm having a ball of a time watching the action unfold.
Go!
We're back to our ball jugglers. The last time, Joel had a total of 21 hits, while Fee scored a big 50. Now with caffeine brewing in Joel's system, let's have a rematch.
You ready?
Yep.
All right, go. Scram.
These two are putting their all in.
So, who will be the victor of the two, huh? We'll see.
It's getting really difficult to predict who will come out top. Looks like Fee has to take second place this time round. And for Joel, let me just say, with great powder comes great responsibility. go!
Several studies have shown that the consumption of caffeine does improve your concentration and your attention span. And this could be partly due to the vasodilation of the blood vessels into your brain, but the precise mechanism is still open to scrutiny and research.
All right, boys, results time. Are you ready? Yeah! Oh, yeah! Now, I know I didn't make it easy for you, but you did well. For those of you guys who were actually sprinting and kicking, after we gave you your drink, all of you were slower during the sprint. However, when it came to the accuracy of kicking that ball, you guys were amazing. You improved tremendously. Give yourselves a big round of applause. But there was one guy, he stands out amongst all of you. His name is Warren. You kicked that cone. Good jobs. All right, when it comes to our jugglers, Joel, 21, before I gave you that refresher. For you, Fee, 50 times. Right. But then the second time round, after you had your refreshment, you were crazy. 99. Oh. Yeah. But you improved too, Fee, don't worry. 57, so slightly more. Do you think that whatever you had to drink helped you in any way?
Yeah, for sure. I was able to focus much better, and I think the result showed that clearly. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being a part of this today. I appreciate it. One big round of applause for SMU! All right, guys, back to training. Let's go. Come on, let's go. Go, 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 go! Woo! As a food detective, I like to delve into the myriad of uses for food. A lot of us drink coffee, but it can also be used as a revitalizing body treatment. The ground coffee beans help to gently exfoliate the skin, and coffee is known as a powerful antioxidant, an effective astringent, and research shows that it could even protect you from the harmful UV rays. Now, I don't know how true that is, but I'll take it. Coffee scrubs help protect against the signs of aging. They soothe skin irritation and even reduce the appearance of cellulite. Of course, we can't forget coffee's irresistible aroma, which both stimulates the senses and clears the mind. In our investigation, we found the good and the bad of coffee. It all boils down to limiting our daily intake to about 2 cups a day. With that, you should be leaning on the safe side and reap all the wonderful benefits of coffee.